What's up, everybody? Welcome into another Big Man on Campus NCAA Hoops Hour. I am the Big Man on Campus. Hope you're having a great day. It is Wednesday, February 19th. We'll get after it. We'll go over the card here, try to find you some info and to help you out navigate through. It is a busy day today. So sit back and relax as we talk college hoops. A lot of games. I'm obviously going to gloss over a lot of them. I'm not going to give you a detailed breakdown on each, but I will talk about a couple more in depth. Thanks for joining me today. Before we get into the show, sad news out of the rap community. Pop Smoke is dead, unfortunately. Murdered this morning. And very sad news. Pop Smoke, 20 years old, young up and comer, Brooklyn guy, a kid that if you were in New York in the summer or in this area, whether it's Philly, New York, Jersey, wherever, you definitely heard Pop Smoke. He was kind of the guy you heard this summer. He was out there, had some really big tracks. Definitely very sad for sure. Anytime a young man or a woman dies, you always shed, I think, a little bit more tears than normal. The good die young, as they say. Definitely a sad story I heard this morning there. So rest in peace to him, Pop Smoke, who was really just coming up. For anyone that didn't know who Pop Smoke was, he had this really interesting delivery. He had a really kind of a UK vibe, had a drill vibe, had a great voice, great delivery. He really was kind of the sound of New York, the voice of New York right now. So rest in peace to him, a young man who dies way too early. But, I do want to say one thing. I know there are just some mean people in this world, and the internet brings out the worst in people. Anytime a tragedy happens, there's always somebody that has something smart or rude to say. But I got to tell you one thing. I see people on Twitter with the whole "Who's that? Who the hell's that guy?" Like, doesn't matter who it is. Man was 20 years old. He was an up and comer. Obviously, he was pretty fucking important because people are talking about him. Who gives a shit if you know who he is or not? That's not fucking relevant or germane to the discussion. He's dead. That's what really fucking matters. Remember the guy, regardless if you knew who he was or not. Obviously, he had fans and he had people that loved him. So shame on you if you use someone's death as a way to make yourself feel better, to do something and say something rude about it. Fuck you. For instance, I don't listen to country, but if a young country artist dies, that's sad to me. We've got to start being nicer. I know, sometimes I'm not the nicest guy. I know sometimes, you guys that watch, maybe you're not the nicest to people, but there are just some rude, mean people out there, and you know what? I mean, you're never going to change them. They just are who they are. They'll have to meet their maker someday, but let's get into the card here. Rest in peace to the great Pop Smoke. I know I enjoyed Welcome to the Party. It was one of my favorite tracks of the last couple of years. And I'll definitely miss his up and comingness. All right, let's get into it. I'm not going to look at the chat for a while, so if you have any comments, make sure you leave them. We'll get into them. Please don't ask about games. I'm going to try to go over everyone here. So let's get into it here. We will start with Butler and Seton Hall up in Newark at 6:30. An early start here tonight, which whether people like or not, it's either something that you can get. You get a couple minutes of early basketball here. This is an interesting game because for anyone that obviously isn't aware. Neither team playing particularly well right now. Obviously, Seton Hall not playing well at all. They've lost a couple in a row. They're struggling to get kind of, I think, the lineup right now that Mamukelashvili's back, and there's been some kind of growing pains there. They've had to kind of figure things out. And, you look at the last game out. I mean, they got beat up in that game. They were horrific. It didn't look good. They were down big in the first half, had to fight back, but it didn't really matter because they were down by so many that it really didn't mean much. But now they're back home, and if you listen to Kevin Willard's comments after the game, they weren't exactly glowing about his team. He basically called them disinterested. They seemed lazy. They seemed not into the game, and that the rotation would get smaller. I would expect a good effort tonight from Seton Hall. I know Butler's tough, and I know Aaron Thompson's back, but I think Seton Hall is just more physical. I think they're more athletic. I'll tell you right now, in the first game when these two teams played, Romaro Gill destroyed Butler. They did not have an answer for him down low. You got to figure they'll make some adjustments there, but I think this is a good game for Seton Hall to kind of figure some things out. I kind of like them in the first half in this game, -2.5. I think if they're going to figure it out, I think it's early and often. They haven't been great in the first half, so obviously there's some pause there, but I think Seton Hall puts together a pretty good game tonight. It's hard to bet this, though, because you have to figure this game seems kind of close. So laying 5 points is definitely tough to do. But if I had to do it, if you gave me a free bet on this game, I would take Seton Hall here. Army Loyola. A lot of people have been betting on Loyola Maryland. They've been kind of a trendy, smaller team. And I know a lot of people kind of figure these out pretty quick and kind of jump on them. They've won 4 or 5, and a lot of it's had to do with the fact that they got Santi Aldama eligible. Santi Aldama is a big out of Spain. He's played really well for them. Gave them 22 last time out. They actually beat Colgate, which Colgate's the best team in this conference. So you have to figure the good times are rolling right now down in Baltimore. They get a home game here. They get a defense and Army that is not real good. I'll tell you, though, this should be a pretty good game to watch from an offensive perspective. I mean, you're going to have two teams that know how to score the basketball, that know how to put the ball in the hoop, and two defenses that I don't think are real good. You should have a good pace in this game. You look at both these teams in the country, folks, 7th and 5th in 2-point percentage. They've done a nice job at creating offense in the half court, getting out and running, and finding ways to score. You looked first time these two teams played 81-80. So at 150, this total seems maybe a bit low. But I got to tell you, last night I had a total. I got fucking destroyed in the second half, and I had a total, folks. It was 146.5. Colorado State UNLV. It was what was it? It was 81 points in the first half, and the game didn't go over. Just brutal beat. But that's how it goes sometimes. But this total seems kind of interesting here. Virginia Military, Western Carolina. I don't know much in this game. Virginia Military has actually been quite sneaky. They've actually hung around in a lot of games. One thing about them, if you don't know, VMI, who over the years has had a lot of shooters. Dan Earl loves the jack threes. That's what they do. So they're going to try to hang in games by making threes. BU and Lafayette. Lafayette been one of the better teams in the country against the spread lately. They're at home here. They're an underdog here. Definitely interesting. Sharps are betting BU, but it seems like a good spot to maybe get on Lafayette here. You maybe take a shot with them at home. They've been good against the number. East Carolina, Memphis. I feel like if you're going to bet against Memphis, this might be a decent shot. One good thing about East Carolina, very good at getting to the foul line. That's one way to stay in a game as a big dog. And right now, Memphis, you continue to struggle with injuries. DJ Jeffrey's still out. They're one of the worst teams in the country in turning the ball over. 337 in the country for Memphis at turning the ball over. Point guard issues have continued to be a problem. They've actually only won one game this year by 13 or more in this conference. So, could be a game they put it all together in and kind of run East Carolina out. East Carolina doesn't have a great road record, but, and Memphis for that right is very good at home and beating teams by margin, but, not really a great time to back the Tigers. Chattanooga Citadel, don't really have much opinion there. Furman, East Tennessee State. Furman actually beat East Tennessee State in the first game. These are the two top teams in this conference outside of UNCG. So a big game in the SoCo tonight. Furman kind of fighting to get into the NCAA tournament. I get a feeling East Tennessee kind of puts it all together here and takes care of business, but really tough game. Furman is a really good offensive team, but defensively, they're going to have to be good in this game if they want to hang around. Samford, Mercer. Samford, one of the worst defensive teams in the country. You've got to feel like Mercer could win by double digits here, but they're not real dependable, if you could say that. Mercer actually is a senior-laden lineup. They have guys that have played together for a while, but turnovers remain an issue for Mercer, and this just isn't a spot I'm really that interested in laying. But maybe take it over here. You got to figure at least Samford will add to the scoreboard. First time these two teams played, 90-75. Again, Samford really has no defensive answer ever. Navy, American, don't have much in this game. I actually do like American. They're pretty well coached under Mike Brennan. So I don't know. I'm not a big Patriot League guy, but this is a conference that has some pretty good offensive teams in it. So they were able to beat Navy the first time by 8. You've got to figure they could take care of business here at home and win. And win by 4.5 or more. Syracuse, Louisville. Louisville just continues to look disinterested this year. But they are a top 12 team. Jordan Warren needs to start playing like a fucking star because I've seen him constantly take off games. Just kind of a weird year for Louisville. I mean, they're hanging there, but I don't think they've inspired a lot of confidence, frankly. So if you want to lay 9 with them, go ahead, but I wouldn't be a spot I'd be looking towards. Syracuse always tough with the zone. Louisville, a good 3-point shooting team, so this could be a game where at home they kind of figure it out. I talked about yesterday. Home teams usually obviously shoot it much better at home, and away teams shoot it much worse on away. So it's pretty simple. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt here that they can find some success offensively, but I'm not looking to lay double digits. UCF, Cincinnati, didn't have much in this game. I don't like Cincinnati for the sole reason of their shot selection. I just think they're a team that takes a lot of bad shots. I don't like Jaron Cumberland's attitude. So I got nothing on this one. Maybe under. Texas A&M, Alabama. Don't have much here. Alabama, I think, just needs to win games. But they've been good at home, and this could be a prime spot for them to kind of flex their muscles. But something tells me Buzz Williams has something to say about that. Auburn, Georgia. This seems trappy to me. Why is Auburn only a 3.5-point favorite on the road, 4-point favorite on the road? Georgia's not good, but they do play a lot better at home. And, Auburn might be without Isaac Okuru tonight, so you definitely want to see what his status is. Iona, Siena, no opinion. George Mason, Richmond. This was a game I considered. I guess for me, it just got a bit high. I think 11 was kind of my cutoff for it. For me to really bet it hard, I was kind of hoping I'd see 10 or 10.5. We didn't exactly get that, but I think it's worth a shot as a free play. It's kind of one of the best of the worst. Richmond is a team that is very good offensively. If you haven't watched Richmond, you should go watch them at some point. They're really basketball porn. They do a great job at moving the ball around. The spacing's awesome. They go up and down. They're really, tempo-wise, a great team. They steal a lot of balls and create a lot of good and easy offense. Grant Golden, a great big for them. And you look at the first time they played George Mason, actually won by 10, but they did give up 87. They didn't play well defensively in that game. And they were without Blake Francis. Blake Francis is now back. Also, you look at the first time these two teams played, Javon Green had 39 points for Richmond, for George Mason. You've got to figure that's not going to happen tonight. So I don't know. I kind of like Richmond here. This is a game where I think they can win, maybe 85-70, something like that. Richmond is a good team. They really can't afford any slip-ups here. They do have a big game kind of on the calendar Sunday against St. Bonnie's, but Richmond, really good offensive team. One thing about Richmond, I'll also point out, first half might be worth a look here. Richmond, top 15 team in the country in margin of victory in the first half. Very good in the first half. So maybe keep that on an eye as well. But George Mason seems to be down by 5 in every first half. So I don't know. I think Richmond can take care of business and cover. Wofford, UNC Greensboro, not a vintage Wofford team. And UNC Greensboro is the best team in this conference. Not really any interest in betting against them. Um, Rutgers and Michigan. This game to me seems very, very much a bounce back for Rutgers. I know Rutgers won the other night, but they did not play well the first time these two teams played. If you guys remember, back about 20 days ago, these teams played on February 1st in MSG. It was a Saturday game, and Michigan was really just a beneficiary of kind of a poor whistle. Michigan shot 24 free throws in that game compared to just 5 for Rutgers, which, I mean, that ain't going to happen tonight. And keep in mind also, Michigan was 9 for 19 from 3. Rutgers just couldn't make any shots in that game. It was an ugly game. The fouls were 21-12, which that's just not fair. So, you look at Rutgers here at home, 17-0 in that building. They're very good there. And frankly, they are really good there. I mean, you look at the defensive numbers for Rutgers at home this year, guys. Opponents shooting 36% in that building, scoring under 58 points a game. That is really high level. I think they own the rebounding advantage tonight in this game. I like Michigan. I don't love Michigan. I think they'll have kind of one of those vintage Big Ten road performances. I don't think they make a lot of shots tonight. I think it's a tough game for Xavier Simpson, who actually didn't play well last time out against Rutgers. And you look in that game, only 9 points. Did have 10 assists, but it wouldn't surprise me if John Teskey gets in foul trouble early in this game. Livers, may or may not play. He's going to be obviously not at full strength. I think it's a great spot for Rutgers. They continue to get bet up here, even with the public taking Michigan. I think Rutgers is undervalued at home. What else do we have here? Lehigh, Colgate. Not going to step in front of Colgate at home, but it's a lot of points. Georgia Tech, Wake. Didn't have much in this game. I know Big Cat, our friend Big Cat, he likes Georgia Tech in this game. Didn't get to chat with him about it, but I know he likes Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, obviously a decent team. I think Wake is just kind of bad. Wake, actually a team that wouldn't surprise me if they go after John Beilein. I think returning Wake basketball to kind of, I think, the 80s and the 90s is important. Obviously like the Tim Duncan, Chris Paul years. They could be a team that I think will move on from Danny Manning. I think it's important to get Wake back involved again. Could be a spot for John Beilein if you're talking about opportunities. Central Arkansas, Stephen F. Austin. Look, I've talked about this. Stephen F. Austin doesn't cover double digits. They seemingly win every game by 8 or 9. Should be a game, though, that they should take care of business in. UCA, not a good team, but a big team. Maybe can hang around here. Go look at Stephen F. Austin when laying double digits. They don't cover often. Lamar and Sam Houston State. Speaking of Sam Houston, Blackjack and Paul LaDuca at Sam Houston State. I just talked to Blackjack last night. They're down at Sam Houston. I don't know if they'll be going to this game tonight, but I'd lean Sam Houston. Actually, a pretty good team. One of the better teams in the Southland. Nicholls State, Northwestern State. I actually like Northwestern State here. Northwestern State actually quietly one of the best teams in the country against the spread. Been very good at home against the number. Good defensive group there, the Demons. I think they hang around and maybe win this game outright. SMU, Tulane. This number's kind of gotten out of hand. I know SMU's not good defensively, but they are really good on the offensive end. I think if you like this game, maybe you look at it over the total. Tulane should be able to score enough to get this game over. SMU, the best offense in this conference. Illinois State, Loyola, Chicago. And again, guys, feel free to leave your comments. I'm just kind of running down the list. I don't have the comment in front of me, but I will get to them when we're done here. Illinois State, Loyola. Tough year for Dan Muller and crew. Illinois State, not a good basketball team. It's been a tough couple of years for the Redbirds, frankly. Have a lot of talent over the years. Haven't been able to put it together. Loyola, very good at home. Should be a good spot for them here. Krutwig should be able to handle business against this Redbird group. But the number got a little high for me. UL Monroe, Arkansas State, lone Sunbelt game tonight. I got nothing on this one. South Dakota State, North Dakota. South Dakota State actually has a big game over the weekend against, I believe, South Dakota. South Dakota State, another very good team against the number. This is a game I considered, surely, but with the road aspect here, with the look ahead, I kind of stayed away. But if you got some money to play with, I think South Dakota State should probably be in your arsenal tonight. But I wouldn't be going crazy on it. Just kind of maybe a half unit play or something. Missouri State, Bradley. I had Bradley last week. They already get the job done for me against Indiana State. Another home game in Peoria. Should be able to take care of business here as well. Elijah Child's back. They're now Brown healthy. But Missouri State, they've had some guys that have been there seemingly forever. De Silva, Lamont West. It just seems like Tyreek Dixon. I mean, they've had guys there for Dana Ford for like ever. But I think Bradley would be suitable in maybe like a moneyline parlay with another favorite that you like. I'm not saying I would do parlays on a regular basis, but I think sometimes you can get a 4.5, 5-point favorite, and you can moneyline them with another 4.5, 5-point favorite. So maybe Seton Hall Bradley, I could see that. Bradley should win tonight. South Dakota, North Dakota State. North Dakota State, a good basketball team, but so is South Dakota, and they don't lose very often. But again, a look-ahead game for South Dakota. They got their in-state matchup this weekend with the Jackrabbits, a big game, obviously, in that state. So keep that in mind if you're betting either of these games. North Dakota State's a good team, real good team. Trivia question: if you can say what what they call the state of South Dakota, which I got to tell you, one state I would love to visit. As I get older, I get more and more. I respect people that live in states like this more and more. I don't live in a state like this. It's obviously out there in the middle of nowhere, and you got a lot of barren wasteland and desolate places. But South Dakota, beautiful state. You got obviously Mount Rushmore. You got the Black Hills. You got the Badlands. You got obviously a lot of Indian tribes and just beautiful roaring country. Just a great, beautiful state for sure. For anyone that wonders, the state name I believe is the Sunshine State, as far as I know. So, for anyone who doesn't know, the name Dakota is the Sioux word. It's an Indian tribe, obviously the Sioux. Sioux means like a friend in Sioux language. So there you go, a little bit of trivia for you. All right, what else do we have here? Boston College, Virginia, no opinion. Virginia actually lost at Boston College last time out. Not really sure why they're 12-point favorites here. McNeese State, Incarnate Word. McNeese State, a very good offensive team. For anyone trivia, Incarnate Word is in San Antonio. Bad team. McNeese should be able to do what they want to do in this game. Cowboys a good offensive team, as I said. Fordham, LaSalle. We just talked about a good offensive team. Let's go to a bad offensive team. Fordham is absolute dog shit. I know our friend Big Cat likes this under. So if you want to tell him, feel free. GW, Duquesne. GW blows. No opinion in them on the road. Again, I hate road teams, so I wouldn't be betting GW here. Especially, I don't like road teams. I'm not saying I won't bet road teams, but I'll tell you what I definitely don't like is a bad road team. That is definitely not something I like. Abilene Christian, Houston Baptist. We've obviously heard the news of a Houston Baptist, very good over team, but Abilene wants to slow it down. They're actually a quite good team. They should be able to take care of business, lay the number. Houston Baptist is a bad team. TCU, Texas, no interest here. Don't know the status of some of Texas's bigs. Just no real interest here. Valpo, Drake, Lean Drake, not a big Valpo guy. I don't like their defense. Drake actually very good in that building over the years. Pretty solid starting five, should be able to score and take advantage of a bad Valpo defense. Cal Baptist, UMKC. Cal Baptist actually having a pretty good season. Their second year in the Division I ranks. Didn't have much in this game. Providence, Georgetown. Providence actually really needs this game. Sitting squarely on the bubble. Played really well the other night against Seton Hall. Georgetown, got to obviously see what the status of Omar Yurtseven and Mac McClung is. Obviously, if they don't play, I lean Providence, but you're never going to make much money betting on Providence on the road. Just seemed like an inconsistent team this year. Tulsa, Houston, this is a game I considered. Something tells me, though, that Houston wins by 12. I don't know why. I think Tulsa's good enough, but again, I worry about Tulsa's inability to score continuously. They actually beat Houston last time out, so this is a revenge game for the Cougars. Brandon Michelle back healthy for Tulsa. Second road game in a row for the Tulsa as well, so that's tough. I don't think it's a great spot for Tulsa, but it could be too many points. Again, small play, wouldn't go crazy on it. It's a good play. It's not a great play. This has the makings to me of like a close game until like the final 5 minutes, and then Houston goes and wins, 74-62 or something. Villanova, DePaul. I got to tell you, I lean DePaul here. I think it's a great spot to back a bad team. I think Villanova will win, but I think it's close. DePaul's starting five is actually pretty good. They just have had some tough luck. Actually played Villanova really good in Finneran Pavilion. I think DePaul could do it again here. Miami, Virginia Tech. Tough game. I think Miami's talented. I don't know why they've been so poor. Virginia Tech obviously very dependent on the three-point shot. No real opinion here. Duke, NC State. For a team, I'll tell you what, a team that could really use a big win tonight is NC State. They're another team squarely on the bubble. At home, stranger things have happened. I feel like if you like this game, maybe take a small shot with NC State money line straight up. No bullshit. Just play it. See what happens. Wyoming, Utah State. Big number. Never going to lay a big number at Utah State. And I've talked about over the years, I don't bet it always, but Wyoming actually a decent underdog this year. They play really slow, so it's hard to get a lot of possessions in. Maybe you just grab Wyoming here plus 21 and say, I'll salute. If they beat me by 25, then I lose. Wyoming is going to be in this game because of the ability of them to slow this game down. And, when you can't run a ton of possessions, you're not going to be able to score a lot of points. And again, it's not like Utah State plays fast either. I mean, they're really slow. So you just got to hope that Wyoming can, maybe get to 55. I think if they can get to 55, I think they can cover this game. Kansas State, Texas Tech. Texas Tech really good in that building. Off a loss, Kansas State blows. Low scoring game. I kind of thought like this game was 65-49, something like that. I think it's a lot like Kansas, Iowa State the other night. Indiana, Minnesota. I'll tell you another team that could use a win is Indiana. But I feel like they're just bad. They're on the road here, so I have no interest. South Carolina, Mississippi State, another team that needs a win. Mississippi State, they're squarely on the bubble. This is a must-win for Mississippi State. Cannot lose this game. We talked about that moneyline parlay thing a little bit earlier. Could be a decent spot for one here. I think Mississippi State will win. Can they cover? I don't know. South Carolina, tough team. Play good defense. Cal, Washington State, didn't have much opinion on. Long Beach State, Irvine. Seems like a lot of points for Irvine to lay. Russell Turner's team, never a group that can speed tempo up or anything. So, that could be something to keep an eye on here. But you look at Irvine, as usual, one of the best defensive teams in the country. And they actually have the number 1 2-point defense in the land. So it's not going to be easy for Beach tonight. This could be a grinding out game where they don't even hit 50. Actually played pretty well the first time these two teams played, though, losing by just 7. So maybe you get a repeat performance here. I'd probably bet this game under the total of 141.5. Seems a bit high. I know Irvine is great defensively, and I know Long Beach is not good defensively, but Irvine just doesn't play real fast, so I don't think you're going to get a ton of possessions here. Boise, San Jose, didn't have any opinion on this one. Um, and then Air Force, Fresno. Fresno continues to be an unlucky team. You're going to give me 8 with Air Force. I'll lean with that here. So there you go. All the games. I did it in 30 minutes or less, obviously less than 30 minutes because we spent 5 minutes talking about Pop Smoke. So listen, if you can find anybody doing that, and I know like Greg Peterson does it, but he does it at like 3 in the morning and, you know, whatever. So, I mean, and I did it live. So, there you go. Lot of comments. A lot of comments. Let's take a look at them here. If you have any comments, feel free to leave them. Let's go through them here. Big man, glad to see you are doing your thing. Keep up the excellent work. I will catch you at a Phillies game this season. That sounds great, Yellow Jesus. I'm sure we'll link up at some point. That sounds good. Thanks for watching. R.S. Jacobs, Jordan Parnes. Jordan Parnes, the Auburn line seems like a rat. Can't bring myself to back UGA. Then I would avoid it. Brandon Cummings, thank you for watching. Sam's Picks, good to see you. Been enjoying the Pick Central show. Keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, I've only been on there once. I've called in a couple times, but glad you're watching it. Support those guys. Brandon Walker, Marty Mush, obviously Kareem, who does the producing there, Dave, Big Cat, Blackjack, Paul, all those guys, all great. What else do we have here? Peter Loshak is in here. Good to see you, Peter. Great to know that you watch. Got to get you back on the show. Yeah, we'll see. I was on it last week. It was fun. So maybe we'll get on there again soon. I had the under in the Kentucky game, 57 points at half, and I lost. Damn. Fuck, that sucks. Fucking brutal, man. Totals are brutal, man. They make you want to fucking kill yourself sometimes. Yeah, I mean, that was how I felt last night. I mean, 81 points in the first half, and it doesn't go over 146 and a half. The game was a blowout. That's what sucked about it because UNLV just pulled their starters, and so did Colorado State. Colorado State, terrible offensive performance last night. What else do we have here? How about LSU at 75-1? Not interested. Not interested in them. Best play of the night is Tulane. Okay. Maybe at the best number, but not currently at the number. I kind of like the over more. Demetrius, thanks for watching. Michigan draws a crowded MSG. Tons of alum. Yeah, I mean, that doesn't explain, though, why they shot 18 more free throws, but all right. Peter Loshek saying over SMU. Glad you're on that one. Yeah, it seems a little low for my liking. Nick Merlick saying Bradley Duke. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't know. Something tells me that NC State wins though, so I'd keep that one out. Nova team total under. Okay. Yeah, I think they struggled tonight. Wouldn't surprise me if DePaul hang around and win. Thanks for watching, Ben. Appreciate that, Jordan. This guy's saying I look like Papa John. I don't know about that. Papa John looks like I don't know about that, but okay, I'll take your word for it. Seton Hall first half. Yeah, man, look, you got to start listening early. I mean, this guy comes in 34 minutes after the show starts and asks about the first game on the card. Yeah, bro, we talked about that one already. Sorry. That's funny. Steve Draft saying Beeline staying in Cleveland as an assistant. Yeah, I don't think. I don't know what you're talking about. That ain't happening. He's good as gone. Am I going to be in Atlantic City for the tournament? I'm not sure yet. Um, Again, I got some things up in the air with Barstool possibly, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean, if that doesn't happen, probably. But I might have to do some stuff for that. I don't know. I don't know what my plans are yet. I haven't planned on anything. I was there last year. You know, and it sucks because like I think Atlantic City's interesting because it's tough to get to. So like if you don't live on the East Coast where you can drive, it's not exactly a great place to go if you're like far away because they don't really have a high level airport. So you have to go to Philly and then drive. So it kind of sucks from that standpoint. But yeah, look, if you live in Virginia, you live in Maryland, you live in New York, you live in Connecticut, Western Pennsylvania, Delaware, wherever, definitely go to Atlantic City. It's fun. You just kind of, hang out. Hotels aren't bad. You can stay at the Ocean Resort for $100 a night. Stay there for a few days. You just kind of hang out and watch the games. It's fun. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be there or not. Uh, Probably though. Thanks for watching, Keith Silva. Do I think Beeline ends up replacing Shaka Smart at Texas? Yeah, I mean that would probably be my first thought. I guess the question is, does Shaka Smart get bought out? Shaka Smart's buyout is, I think, 10 million. So I mean, it's not exactly easy to buy him out, but I mean, if anyone's going to buy him out, it's Texas. And I think with the fact that Texas obviously wants such a has a high standard in athletics, I think they definitely will pursue it. I don't think Shaka's worked there. And for anyone that doesn't know, Luke Yaklich actually coaches in Texas. He's their kind of a defensive coach. He spent time at Michigan when they went to the national championship game. I actually saw them in the Final Four, and he has a lot of connection to Luke Yaklich. I don't know if it's Luke Yaklich's job. I don't know, but I think John Beeline will look towards like Wake, somewhere like that. We'll see. Thanks for watching, Drew, Miles, Melvin, Gina, James. Thanks for watching. Do I think Wyoming is better first half? Yeah, look, take a shot, maybe full game, but I'm not. Anything I give you on this show is merely just my opinion. I'm not telling you to bet it. I have a premium play tonight at my website, which I really like. I've kind of zeroed in on, so we'll hope to get after that. Peaks and valleys in the business. For all the people that have hung around and have joined me, I appreciate all of you. So yeah, if you want to join me for that, you can. I've talked yesterday about my plans for the tournament. I am going to have a guide of sorts. I'm going to do videos for each conference tournament. It is going to be something you'll pay for, but you'll get access to. It's really just going to be kind of a reference, but it does take time to do the videos and to do all the work. So to do it for free is not going to happen. But if you guys want those, obviously it's a way you can support me without having to buy picks. It's probably going to be like $50. I mean, it's not going to be anything crazy, but it's going to be a good reference. I'm going to kind of give you all you need to know about the teams and stuff and the teams that can contend. You can make money betting on futures and conference tournaments. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I'm going to have that available pretty soon. Conference tournaments start in about 2 weeks. So definitely want to keep those in mind. The first conference tournaments are, I believe, the Atlantic Sun. They get started first. I'll have to get the answer on that. Yeah, I think March 3rd is when they start. So they'll be the first. It's not going to be like game to game previews and like picks and stuff, but it's really just going to be kind of like a reference guide. So when is the first day of tournament? I don't know. Look it up. What am I, your fucking lackey? Look it up. You've got Google. Look it up. You're probably on a fucking computer right now. Open a tab, go to Google, and type it in. He's like he thinks I'm his lackey. Look it up yourself. But all right, guys, I am out of here. That's it for me. Um, I will tell you all to have a great night. Thank you for watching. Um, and good luck tonight on your wagers. Keep in mind, if you like that Seton Hall game, starts at 6:30, so don't forget. Um, I am going to have a nice meal tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we get ourselves a winner and you know even ourselves up for the week. So, good luck to you. Good luck to all of you out there that bet tonight. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Make sure you join me. I'm the Big Man on Campus. Check me out, bmocwins.com, if you feel like joining. I'm out. See you later.